the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's the beginning of a new era because 2021 marked the end of an old era, and that was the Big Ben Roethlisberger era. It was his swan song in 2021, but man, it was kind of a drag, to be honest with you. It felt like one of those slow like movies where you just want to get it over with. I mean, I like Big Ben Roethlisberger and what he's done for the NFL, but this was kind of painful. This was kind of a painful season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And yes, people have their nostalgia for Ben Roethlisberger, and that Monday night game against the Cleveland Browns was pretty good. Was pretty good. It is like a good feeling for them in their fan base, but it was just kind of a drag for most of the season because Big Ben he couldn't sling the ball anymore. He couldn't air it out. He was committing a lot of turnovers. Like in the season prior, Najee Harris couldn't really get the run game going for Pittsburgh. The receiving core was struggling as well, especially with Juju Smith-Schuster out for the season. And then the defense, led by TJ Watt, who broke the single season sack record. No, he tied it with Michael Strahan. They really had to carry the load. They really had to pick up the slack for the washed Pittsburgh offense. They did go 9-7-1. Yes, they tied the Detroit Lions that 1 week, and they netted the final AFC playoff spot in a win-or-go-home game against the Baltimore Ravens on the road. But unfortunately, that was just the icing on the cake, and they got fed as appetizers to the Kansas City Chiefs in the first round. So, not exactly the greatest way to end the Big Ben Roethlisberger era in Pittsburgh. So, going into 2022, your ultimate goal is to find that quarterback to kickstart the new era and, keep some semblance for Mike Tomlin. And whoever that quarterback's going to be, whether it's someone relatively still young or like a new guy, like a rookie, they got to help him get his feet wet through, like, keep him comfortable first with the running game and the defense until he gets his bearings. So some of the things that they did in the offseason, they did keep some key defensive pieces like Minkah Fitzpatrick, their free safety, and their corner, Ahkello Witherspoon. Some United fans may remember him. He's doing pretty solid in Pittsburgh now, by the way. And then we get to their additions. When you look at their free agent signings, this was the one that really had Pittsburgh fans questioning themselves. Like, why am I Yinzer? Why am I a Yinzer? But first, let's talk about Levi Wallace going to the Buffalo Bills, their corner. Good addition for them. But then we get to the MVP, the first ever Nickelodeon valuable player, Mitch Trubisky. Good old Mitch Trubisky is back in the headlines once again. And holy hell, I actually want him to win the starting job just so people can roast him yet again. So the MVP, the first ever inaugural MVP, Mick Trubisky is back as the potential starter to win yet another MVP in the Nickelodeon Wild Card game in 2023. So who knows? Maybe Pittsburgh can go to the Wild Card and get another MVP. So when you look at the other additions that Pittsburgh added, it was mainly on the offensive line. You look at guards James Daniels from the Chicago Bears, Mitch Trubisky's old team, center Mason Cole from the Minnesota Vikings. So they improved on the offensive line. So that's good. And then on the defensive end, you added Miles Jack from the Jaguars. So their offensive line and their defense look good now. The defense got even better, though. So, of course, you lose Ben Roethlisberger to retirement. He called it a career. You also lose your general manager, your longtime general manager, Kevin Colbert. He left after the 2022 draft. I mean, he's been there for 22 years, so it's understandable. And he got replaced by Omar Khan. And they added, they actually lost the receiver Juju Smith-Schuster to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know, Pittsburgh didn't have enough money, or Juju Smith-Schuster wanted to go somewhere else to to prove that he's going to be a top receiver somewhere else. I don't know. So they also lost the naming rights to Heinz Field. So yes, they lost the name rights to the ketchup brand, and now it's known as Acrisure Stadium. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, but that's kind of a lame name. I feel sorry for people. So the hopes of Mitch Trubisky, of him getting the MVP for 2023 in that Nickelodeon Wild Card game, could be potentially dashed because the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Kenny Pickett from the University of Pittsburgh. So a little bit of familiarity with this guy because the Pitt played their home games in that stadium. So they know what to potentially expect out of Kenny Pickett. And I know people make fun of his hand size and all that, but yeah, you never know like what's going to happen in the NFL. And I know I've poked a little bit of fun at Kenny Pickett and for his hand size, and I made a little criticism about it. But hey, like I said, you never know what you can get out of Kenny Pickett in the NFL. But I'm not saying he's going to be a massive success with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but you never know. You just never know. They also managed to add some pieces to the receiving core, especially considering that Juju Smith-Schuster is gone, and you don't really have much proven top receivers, or let alone a wide receiver too. They got George Pickens from the University of Georgia and Calvin Austin III, who I think I talked about in my Filthy Casual preview from the University of Memphis. So two solid guys. Now, of course, going into the season, from what I saw from the Steelers offseason, is that I think the defense is going to be the focal point of Pittsburgh in 2022. And I got to say it, they're only going to be able to carry them as far as they can. Like, it's going to be the same story like it was in 2021. TJ Watt's going to have a good year. Minka Fitzpatrick's going to have a good year. Ahkello Witherspoon might do a couple of things, but that pass rush can only do so much. The secondary can only do so much because at the end of the day, it's all about the offense. It's all about the offense in the NFL. And whether it's Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett that's going to be starting, if they can't produce, if they can't do at least a solid job of running that offense, they're screwed. They are screwed, especially considering that the Bengals and the Ravens have much better quarterbacks than what Pittsburgh has to offer, and much better offenses, mind you. They're fucked. They could be fucked. So who knows? Maybe it could be like Mitch Trubisky does bad one week, and then you have to put in Kenny Pickett, and then Kenny Pickett does bad one week, and then Trubisky has to come in. It's gonna be like a very bad cycle. It could be, but damn, it's rough. So looking at some of their key games for 2022, it's pretty much every single game before that bye week in week 9. Damn. So looking at their schedule, weeks 1, 3, and 5, you have road games. And weeks 2, 4, and 6, you got your home slate. But looking at that stretch, it's god dang. So looking at their road stretch in those odd weeks, you have to go to Cincinnati to start your season. And then after your home opener against the Patriots, you have to go to Cleveland. And then after Cleveland, you go home to face the Jets, who knows? Like, they could be either worse than last year or they could be even better. Who knows? Then you have to go play the Bills, and then you go home to play Tom Brady and the Bucks. Then you go back on the road for a 2-game road trip to Miami, and then you go to Philadelphia. Rough. Very, very rough. That's not a good stretch if you're the Steelers. So, of course, the biggest question for the Pittsburgh Steelers is, who wins that starting job? Is it the proven MVP, Mitch Trubisky, or is it small hands, Kenny Pickett? Who wins that starting job? And until then, we don't know what to expect for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What I can slightly predict is how much they could possibly win in 2022. Sure, they got a good defense, but the offense, of course, is the name of the game. So what I think could possibly happen is that the Steelers could, at worst, go 6 wins. Yes, I'm saying that because, like I said, the defense can only take them so far, but that offense could look like dog doogie water. Or maybe the offense under Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett could look okay. It could do enough to get you 9 wins, but possibly not a playoff spot. So either way, it could be another year where the Steelers could get that MVP, that Nickelodeon wildcard game, and get another MVP from Mitch Trubisky, or they can open the picket line. They can paint that picket line from one and only Kenny Pickett.